In this video, I'm going to show you how to create tasks in Zoho CRM using Delude script. I've got a function here that I use in my Twilio plugin, which could be of interest to you. The basic idea is that for the task, we need a subject, which is what will appear here. We need a due date, and for that, you need to format it in this format here, the year hyphen the month hyphen the day. You can see here, this is how I'm doing it to put it 2 days in the future. You need to set the status. I typically set it to not started. The owner, and this is the user ID of the owner. You can get that, for example, if you have a lead, you could do something like owner ID equals lead data.get owner.get ID. That's how you'd get the owner ID. I already have it being passed into this particular function, so I don't need to worry about it. Then the description, that is what, if you click on the details of this particular task, you'll see that it has down here, this particular task relates to replying to a message, and for that reason it has the SMS message that was sent, but you would put in the description whatever would be relevant for you. And then these bits here, they're only relevant for my extension, you don't need to worry about them. After that, we need to link it to a record. There's a little bit of specialization to do if you are linking it to a contact. Let's first discuss how to link it to any other module besides a contact. For that, you need to set the property $se_module, and you need to set what ID. The SE module will be the module name, for example, leads, and the what ID, that will be the record ID. If you are doing it for leads, you may want to set the company name as well. What you can do there, you can add another property, company name, which you would set to the leads company. And I'm going to share all this code. It will be a link in the video description. The other case is that if it is a contact, then we don't set $se module or what ID, we set who ID. It's a bit confusing, but after you've done it once, you'll have a pattern to follow. The reason you do this is if you want to connect a task to both an account and a contact, or a vendor and a contact, you could set the SE module to accounts, the what ID to the account ID, and the who ID to the contact ID. In my case, I don't really care about that. I only care about it linking to a contact or a lead or a deal. The final bit here, I've got safely create new record. That's basically the same as doing zoho.crm.create record, module name, and the data. I just do it that way so that I can show you that function if you're interested. I have it to check if there was an error creating that particular new record. For example, sometimes there can be issues where if one of the properties, for example the description, if you set it to be more than 2,000 characters, then you probably will have issues with that. So what I'm doing here is I only take the first 2,000 characters. And then there's a bunch of other safety checks, making sure that you're not trying to set the owner to an inactive user. And then here it's checking the result after you create the record. And if there's an error, then it does a debug in Click. The other thing to note here is that when you're doing zoho.crm.create record, by default, workflows won't be triggered. But if you add this part here, then workflows will be triggered. let's go back and test it out. I'll show you it working first with a deal, and then I'll do it with a lead. Grab the deal ID. I'm going to leave the owner ID as null, which will mean that it will default to the super admin. I can put the sender name that's relating to my SMS plugin. And then here for the module name, I'll put deals. If we reload now, we should see a second task. You can see it's set 2 days in the future. Status is not started, and it has the description there. Let's now try it with a lead. Okay, let's have a look at this. You can see that it is linked to the lead, and also right now in this CRM I don't have a company field, so it doesn't show anything there. But if I look in my other CRM, you can see there is a company name field, and it is set in that case. I did the same exact thing. The reason why it appears is because I've got, in this case, a company name field in the tasks module. So it's not necessarily perfect, but that is the closest you'll get if you want to show the company name linked to a task. So by default, it's going to show you in the related to section. It's going to show you the first name and the last name. And if you want to show the company name, you need to add another field in the tasks module, and then set in the code here, what I did here with the company name, set that to the company field in the lead.